Greetings all. Welcome to another episode of Shared Light with Dusty and JR. I am obviously JR.
And I'm Dusty.
How are you doing?
Good.
Let's get the elephant in the room out there. Some of you may or may not have noticed we did not have a podcast last week.
Nope.
We changed up the format, as you guys know, a couple weeks ago to release starting Mondays now, correct?
Yeah.
Monday morning to hit all of your favorite platforms. And we just decided we didn't want to last week, which leads into our conversation today. We're going a little bit off cuff. We're just going to have a casual conversation about kind of everything that's been going on and
life,
how we are trying to remain intentional while dealing with the heaviness of everything going on right now. So let's see, where do we start? In 2026, this is 2026.
This is 2026.
There's been a lot of turmoil,
change,
globally, nationally, and even here at home. There's been a lot of stuff going on, which has impacted in ways that I guess I'd never really ever thought about before. And I'm not getting into politics. I'm not getting into whether I agree or disagree with what's going on in the world or not. But the one thing that I can speak to, and I think a lot of you will resonate with, is that everything is getting extremely expensive.
Yeah.
What that ends up doing in terms of economy is, as prices start to go up on things, businesses start looking for ways to cut costs.
Yeah.
Right. So fast forward to start of this year, a little bit. My beautiful wife, was laid off from her job that was providing an extra source of income for us. At the time, we had taken on some new expense. We had done some things banking on that added income, but also banking on some other things to kind of see fruition that we were hoping was going to happen.
Right.
It did not happen. And now we are starting the second half of the year, and financially, it's starting to weigh on me pretty heavily.
Yeah.
So through the grace of God and the help of a lot of people, we have been treading water, but it keeps creeping up to where we're drowning a little bit. So we've been looking at some options and doing some things. One of those things that we looked at was potentially having our own business, seeing if we could generate some income that way. That's been proven to be a little bit more difficult than I think either one of us anticipated.
Yeah.
Just to get your foot in the door seems to take some time, which is understandable.
Well, and when the economy is like this, people aren't willing to spend the money for services like we provide.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like consulting and things like that. They're trying to scale back and not spend more. So
that's been difficult. Compound that with the fact that a lot of unforeseen things have come up. My daughter's mental health crisis, which we'll get to that here in a little bit, but my frustrations just with not being able to not to say that we're not making ends meet, but not to provide the comforts that I'm used to providing.
The cushions.
And having a little bit of that cushion that we normally have has really increased my frustrations with other aspects of what I'm doing. So all of that said, we wanted to have a conversation on what we're doing because we are struggling right now. Financially, mentally, I would say.
Mentally.
And it's just like we mentioned it, I think, last episode, life is really lifing right now.
Yeah.
I have made it a point to put it out there that, you're going to have highs, you're going to have lows, you're going to have some really low lows, you're going to have some really high highs. What do you do when you feel like things aren't going your way? How does that impact home life? How does that impact your personal life? How does that impact, like for me, right? And she called it out again. Maybe it was last episode, a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
My motivation with all of the frustrations I've got going on, I'm so far in my head that I've got zero motivation to do anything extra.
Yeah.
I'm still in school, getting ready to finish up my degree this coming December.
Yeah.
Taking summer classes, but it felt like the previous 2 classes that I took, it took everything to me just to get through them, to be motivated to do them more than anything. It's not even that the work was hard. It's just drumming up that motivation to get after it and do it the way I normally do it has just been non-existent for me.
Yeah.
Making myself get up in the morning has been hard.
It's been hard for me. Or working out for me has been pretty non-existent. I just have no motivation to get up and do it.
So therein lies something that I was thinking about this morning. I got up extra early this morning because my stomach was not happy. So I was up playing on Fortnite, thinking about everything going on and actually thinking a little bit about this episode. And I think it was about a year and a half ago, I did a lot of reading on discipline. US Navy SEALs, former military members, marathon runners, all of these guys talk discipline, discipline, discipline. Discipline is there when motivation fades, right?
Yeah.
And to a point, I agree because I'm still doing all the stuff that I need to do,
Yeah.
but it's not at the level that in myself I feel like I should be putting forth more effort.
Yeah.
So how do you come back from that is the question. And I don't think we found an answer for that yet.
No, we haven't, but we're still kind of in the thick of it. So it's hard when you don't have the self motivation. It's hard for me to show up for you or show up for the kids and be that motivation for you as well when I don't have it in me. So it's hard to find that in the when you're in the middle of it. Once I think start things start kind of going up, you start to gain a little bit more of that, okay, like, a little bit of relief gains a little bit more motivation.
Yeah, I mean it's that snowball effect where one thing starts going right, the next thing
Mhm.
hits, and then it just kind of snowballs up from that. And the unfortunate thing is the opposite is also true. When things start going bad, they start to snowball and other things start going bad, and all of a sudden it's just like,
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to take a look back a year ago,
yeah,
2 years ago, like that's probably where it all kind of started to
yeah,
snowball to where we're at today.
yeah. I think 2 years ago was when we were struggling. I was struggling really bad with my mental health and anxiety and the pregnancy, the miscarriage, all of that happened, and then the next year, last we lost your mom, and I think everything has just kind of piled and piled and piled. Financially was a big one for us when she passed, but mentally as well.
Well, and there's a lot of that stuff that I just haven't even fully processed, right? Not to say that I didn't grieve my mom or grieve the miscarriage or any of that. It's just I did. But for me, there's always a processing phase of like, what was that supposed to teach me? What was that like?
Yeah,
Trying to make sense of what came of it, right?
yeah,
And maybe it's just that we're here today talking about our issues. I know that we like to always really put forth a positive image of, you do all of these things and your marriage will be great. And this is the one thing that I will say is that our marriage is great right now.
yeah,
And a lot of that ties back into a lot of the stuff we've talked about is while I have zero motivation and just want to veg out and not think and kind of be in my own little world, lost in whatever I'm doing.
Fortnite.
Yeah. And you're kind of the same way in the kitchen, baking, making
Mhm.
cookies, doing all that. I think we're giving each other enough space to process all of that, but we're also still talking at the end of the day about everything that's going on.
Yeah, and we're
As
still together.
Right. And it's not, I'm coming after you because, oh, now we're doing this, or we're spending this, or we don't have money for this or that, or
Right.
this, that, or the other. It really is us against the problem. Like, what are we doing to fix the finances? What are we
Yeah.
doing to cut back in areas? What are we doing to make it so that the kids aren't impacted? Because the kids, I mean, we've mentioned it before, my kids are spoiled rotten. So,
Yeah, I think they're just used to they've never had to go without, or it's very rare that they're told no. And they're not like spoiled brats where they're like, I have to have this, but there are, certain comforts and things that they are used to and they've never had to go without. And so now they're starting to learn that, you know, sometimes in life you're not able to have those comforts and we do with what we have and make the best of it. There are times that you're able to. My mom's been pretty good about taking them out and doing things and she just bought them new shoes but they've been really good about it,
well, and
surprisingly, because I thought they maybe would be like bratty about it but
and it was very telling. So we had a family meeting
mhm,
about a week ago. Week ago?
yeah,
And I'm not one to be dishonest with my children. I believe in being authentic and true to what we're going through, and so that they have an understanding of what the real world is.
yeah,
from whatever perspective that is. Not to say that I am gloom and doom and telling them all these negative things, but it was a very authentic conversation and intentional conversation of like, look, we're struggling right now. We're still trying to get you guys what you need, but you guys need to do more around the house to help out and understand that we're not going to be able to go out to eat. Like, you need to eat here at home. Like, there's a lot of that,
Yeah.
those conversations. We actually also had a conversation with our little one about the stuff that she needs to get done,
Mhm.
and had an honest conversation with her as well about what she's not doing here
Yeah.
at home. And I'm not saying that that was all of it, but I do feel like since then she's really made an effort to be out here and be involved. And she still has her moments where she just wants to be alone. And
Yeah. I think it was important for her to hear, like, even though we may be struggling with anxiety or struggling with depression or, no motivation, it's still important that we get up in the mornings and we show up and we do what we can and we interact with our family and, we keep going because for her, it's really easy for her to just live in her mental health and just avoid everybody
yeah,
and be on her phone all night long, sleep all day, and it just became a pattern. And, I also think it helped her that one of the only people that she really kind of reached out to in the middle of all of her mental health stuff was my mom. And she's been going with my mom. She's had a couple times she went just by herself with my mom and they have talks together. And I think it's just she's starting to realize that like people show up for me, I need to show up for them too. Like I need to do my part. But it's also, I think, important for her to realize, and she is realizing that like I don't have to do this by myself.
yeah,
I don't have to, and we've told her many times, like, it's okay to feel that way. Like, you feel what you feel. You had experiences that you went through that caused you trauma and caused you to feel this way. But that doesn't mean we live in it every day, day in, day out, you know?
and honestly, it probably helped her for us to just be open about the crap we got going on.
Hmm.
Again, I didn't hide it. Like, I'm
No.
struggling, I'm
Yeah.
stressed, I'm worried about this, I'm worried about that. And
Because we don't want them to think that they have to be perfect and that everything has to be perfect 100% good 100% of the time. They may only be 10 and 11 years old, but they need to start learning and are learning that like things are not always on the up and up 100% of the time. And not everybody's perfect, things are going to happen and that's okay. It's, how you deal with it. We have been able to handle it and keep going and have the same exact marriage as when it was really good financially or whatever. We have the exact same marriage when we're, not doing good financially or motivation wise or whatever because we have put in that work
right.
and we have done those things so that it can sustain when we do hit these roadblocks.
Well, and it was interesting to hear them both. And this is why I say that it's really important to share your light with people, right? Is that we're telling them, I'm telling them that I'm struggling, that I'm doing this and that. We need to do this. We need to do that. We need to try and help out. We need, do what we can to cut back, let them know that there's some things that we're not going to be able to do anymore and, things of that nature. And instantly, and my little one has been the one that has been just gloom and doom, doesn't want to, think outside of what
Mhm.
happened months ago,
Yeah.
was quick to start
Yeah.
setting goals around, pets, setting goals around farms, setting goals around,
Mhm.
and she's been going on about it for like a week now.
Yeah,
Uh,
every day.
and it really is important to see and important for me because that is that spark, right? That is that light that you can
Mhm.
gravitate to. And I think that was the comment we both made was, well, I guess this is the next goal.
Yep, that's
This,
our next goal.
this is where we need to start moving toward.
Yep, that was her light that allows her to, come out of her gloom and doom and out of her anxiety and focus on something else and look forward to something, because I can speak personally when you're in the thick of your anxiety and your depression, there is nothing you look forward to. Other than what else is going to happen or what am I going to be anxious about next or, so having something for her little brain to look forward to and be excited about, I think has also helped her in her day to day.
And for full context, what sparked this is we are in the midst of I don't want to. It's kind of an accident, but I don't really want to call it an accident. I was a bad owner, is what it boiled down
Yeah.
to. But our male beagle, got one of our female beagles. Again, to be
Puppy.
fair, the vet did tell us that he wasn't supposed to be fixed until. But
Mhm.
we probably should have got them fixed a while ago.
Yeah. There was a miscommunication there on when we were supposed to get him fixed. But
So
anyway, we're going to have puppies
we
soon.
are in the midst of dealing with the pregnant beagle. So that's been a eye-opening experience. But it's kind of a happy accident because it has given us something as a family to rally around
Yes.
in setting some kind of direction at home to keep
Mhm.
our minds off of everything that's just not going our way.
And it sparked light in her, in our youngest, and created our next 5-year goal
Yep. So
to have a farm, a little farm, not a big old farm.
they tell me they're going to take care of the animals, but I just don't see it.
I know our youngest will.
Well,
It's our oldest that
but they're both saying right now, and my oldest even told. So our oldest for the longest time has been completely against us moving, doing
Mhm.
anything different.
She
She's
don't want
not. Yeah, she
change.
doesn't like change at all. But she told us the other day that she's ready to move. She can pack up today and go live on a farm.
Now getting her to do farm stuff and chores, and
I don't think you're
she's
gonna.
gonna have to have certain, like, collecting eggs.
Yeah, I
She'll
don't.
do that.
Well, but she's been getting really into helping you bake. So maybe
Yeah.
she's gonna be
Yeah, that's true.
the next generation of bread maker, and I
Yeah.
mean she's made all sorts of goodies.
Yeah. 'Cause I mean, I learned from my mom, and I'm pretty much my mom, but
But both of them
I think
lately
she's gonna.
have really been wanting. Well, since we had that conversation, they've been really wanting to help out in the kitchen and make some desserts. And
Yeah. So I think that's our next, well, I know it's gonna be our next goal. So that's, I think, and I think it's helped all of us, honestly. It's helped me just to have something that's like, because when you're in the thick of stress or, whatever times you're going through, you always need something that you can just look at and say, but it'll be better. We'll get there. It's not gonna be right now, and that's okay. It'll take some time, but we'll get there. I know we will.
it's like
We never thought we'd buy a house. We never thought
that's
we'd
true.
have kids.
Yeah.
Um, it's just another thing that it's like, well, it's the light that's in the middle of our little shadow we
Well,
have going on right
and
now.
and you have to be willing to recognize those moments of light to
Mhm.
understand that is there for you to latch on to and gravitate to really spark that next
Yep.
bit of positivity that's coming your way.
Yeah. And I think that's why you go through these times. That's why you have hard times. For me, anyway, if it was always 100% on the up and up and good, what would you look forward to? If everything always went your way and you had unlimited money and,
I mean, I would probably look forward to having an island somewhere.
well, I know, but I'm saying on your day to day, like, I would think that would get just after a while, like, yeah, I can do and buy anything I want, but
No, it's.
what's the meaning?
I
Like,
mean,
what's the weight behind it? Why, for what?
well, I think that's when ego really starts to take hold. I mean, you see it all the time, and with powerful people with a lot of money, that they start turning into monsters because
Hmm.
they got everything. So they
Yeah.
start exploring to the things that they don't have, and then it just falls
Yeah.
off the rocker. And
So I think the rough times kind of keep you grounded, And for me, even though it's hard and I have days where it's really hard for me, I also have days where I'm like, there's a reason for it. There's a meaning, and it has to happen because I already know on the other side of it, because that's been our experience. Every hard time we've had on the other side of that hard time has been 100 times better
well,
than
I,
we thought.
I do hear that quite a bit, right? Your life gets a lot harder right before you level up. So
Yep.
maybe this is that moment, maybe it's not, but I did feel inclined to just have a simple conversation about what's going on with us. Really just reset, try to get
Yeah.
back into the groove of, because for a bit there, our shared goal is to help others.
Yeah.
But to Dusty's point, you do not have the energy for others when you are having struggles internally with just trying to make it through your day to day. And not that it's been so hard that I don't have time. I want to make time. I
Yeah.
really just want to be.
Well, I think our time has more been being with each other and just being, not having a schedule, not having a to do list, not having, we
Have
have
to.
to do this, 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 and this by this date, this time. We're just being together.
You have to have moments like that in your life when you're able to just detach from it all, detach from the schedule,
Mhm.
put the phones down,
Yep.
and be intentional and be in the moment with your family and your like I said, I have spent the last 2 weeks has probably been the most that I've spent with my kids in the last year, not because I'm not home or they're not home or whatever, but because we've actually all just been really intentional about
Mhm.
having dinner together, having conversations together. My daughters are out, talking with us for a couple of hours. My oldest is playing Fortnite with me. My youngest is trying to get me to play her VR, which I did do yesterday, and it's terrible for older
Yeah.
folks. I will say that,
I can't believe.
but trying to meet them also at their level so that they can see that I'm actively trying to do things that they like, so that it's not just about the things that I like.
Yeah.
And everything else that comes, again, if it's us against the problem, we'll get through whatever we need to get through.
Yeah.
But sometimes life's gonna hit you harder than anybody that you've ever been encountered in the world. So and this is one of those times where it's starting to hit hard enough that we're starting to feel it a little bit.
Yeah.
The goal now is just to keep moving forward, to gravitate towards the light that we're seeing.
Yeah.
Again, I've not to say that my youngest is past her hurdles, but that
No.
this puppy thing has really inspired and lit something in her that has really she's really starting to be her old self.
Yeah. It's starting to bring her back to who she was, and not just for us, but for herself, like starting to remember a lot of the things that she enjoys, which she's always loved animals. She said forever that she wanted to be a vet. So, she just loves animals, and
I think she was a vet for Career Day a
she
couple of
was.
years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just sparked something in her that I think is starting to get her over that hurdle, which in turn sparks a light in our oldest because she's getting her sister back and their relationship is getting a lot better.
Yeah, they're starting to spend a lot of time together.
Yes. And in turn, that sparks a light back in us as their parents, or it's like, this is temporary, for me anyway. This is temporary. I have to continue to be that motivation for them.
And sometimes it's not even about being the motivation. Sometimes it's just about showing up and
Hmm.
being there.
Yeah.
We used to say that in the gym all the time, right? It's not about going in and killing yourself every day.
Yep.
Sometimes all you can do is show up, go through the motions, but at least you showed up and you got that
Mhm.
one thing accomplished moving forward.
Yep. And I mean, even lately, I show up, but it may just be to sit out there with you and watch you, and interact with you and show up for you, even if I don't show up for myself in the workout aspect. But
Well, I think some of that too, though, is like you have to find things exercises you enjoy because I mean, you seem to really like the rower. I have not been able to get.
yeah, I don't mind it.
Yeah, I don't care for it myself. It hurts me in places that I don't like to hurt. So, but that is if you take nothing else from this podcast today, take this one lesson that sometimes all you can do is show up. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with showing up and going through the motions and seeing what tomorrow brings because you string a few of those together
Yep.
and you look back in a month and like, wow, I've been consistently doing this. And you start building up upon that little by little.
Yep.
Outside of that, here at home, we've seen some cool documentaries. We've started listening to some podcasts for research purposes for our podcasts
Yeah.
to provide a deeper insight, different perspective, maybe. Compare notes on what other podcasters are thinking related to some of the topics that we cover.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I think as we progress and as we move forward, we may start incorporating the idea. We've been tossing around the idea of maybe starting to have some guests on, see how they navigate life and marriage and relationships and whatever they've got going on with whatever they've got going on in life.
Yep.
Everybody's going to have a unique perspective. And
Yep.
I do feel like that all adds value long term. The more perspective and the more difference of opinion that you're able to have in your world, I think opens your horizons to new things that you may not have thought about. So,
Yep.
anything else? Was there anything else that I missed? Happy 4th of July.
Yeah. Yesterday was 4th of July. Crazy. around here always at our house.
Yeah,
Not us, but our
it's
neighborhood.
very hard to navigate when you've got children that don't like fireworks and you've got 5 animals that really don't like fireworks.
Yeah.
So,
We made it through.
but, yeah, anything else? Anything else? Am I missing anything?
I don't think so. Life is just life right now. And
So
it's not, I mean, every day I think it's not terrible. We've been through worse. It's not anything that we can't change, or it may take time, but, we still have us. We still have our kids. We still have our family. We'll get there.
we still have the house. I mean, we still got all the I mean,
Yeah.
I don't wanna put it out there like we're living out of a box or anything. Like, we're
No.
still very comfortable, and
Yes.
we're just not
We're not
where.
as comfortable as we're used to.
Right.
And I think the hardest part for us and why it feels so daunting to us is because we did do so much work to get where we were financially, and then because, I mean, we still pay our bills. We still, it's not like we're out and we're going to lose everything. But when you work for so long and so hard to build and to get to a certain place in your life financially, to have to go backwards, I think it feels more daunting. Because if you compare, like, before we had kids or even when the kids were babies, financially to now, well, yeah, we're way better than we
Yeah.
were, but it's different because we hadn't put in all that work. We hadn't done all the things and kind of made what we wanted for ourselves, but we're still fine,
Yeah, I mean,
and
on the material
we'll
side,
get there.
things can go away tomorrow, and it's not really that impactful, right? As long as everybody's healthy and everybody's doing
Right.
okay.
Yeah.
But to your point,
It just
you
feels more
you
daunting to
you
you and I.
yeah, we've worked really hard to get where we're at, and to feel that not be where we're at is
Yeah,
highly
that's the
stressful
hard part.
for sure, for sure. Especially with everything else I got going on outside of us,
Yeah.
with my frustrations and things that I got going on. So
Yeah.
with that,
With the outside world.
yeah, yeah. With that, I don't know, this one might have been a little heavy, but we did feel inclined to just give you guys a status update on,
Yeah.
we're not always having things go our direction either. Life happens to us as well. We just want to make sure that, we're real people and we do empathize with everybody and everything that's going on right now in the world because, everything going on, whether you want to believe it or not, adds some level of stress to you, whether it's your finances, whether it's people in the armed forces that are off fighting in wars that, we may or may not agree with, whatever's happening there, or whatever political view you've got. I'm sure it all adds some kind of stress.
Yeah.
So until the aliens come and take over, which I'm hearing a lot about, we'll continue to move forward and start working towards our next goal, which, at this point sounds like it may be a farm and in a small town somewhere, at least a little one, an
Little one.
acre or two, maybe just something small. So with that, we wish you guys the best. Please keep, if nothing else, you've taken from this episode, please continue sharing your light. A little bit of light really does get everybody through the dark, and it really does help you start finding your way out of the dark. So have a blessed week, and we'll catch you on the next one.